Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? And I just wanted to say thank you for watching. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is leadership. And in a recent example, we've seen a good indication of what good leadership is like, and also a good example of what bad leadership is like. It's specifically in relation to the Hurricane Ian that struck Florida recently and caused a considerable amount of damage. And the Governor Ron DeSantis actually requested aid from President Biden, which he actually gave, which we all kind of figured he would. What I don't understand is that years back when Hurricane Sandy hit New York and New Jersey and also caused a considerable amount of damage, Ron DeSantis, along with several other Republicans, voted against relief. To me, this should be a no-brainer. I mean, I understand as a governor, you have your own state as a priority, but there's still other people out there, other states that have their needs as well. And in a time of crisis, this shouldn't be politicized, which Ron DeSantis once made a statement during a recent press briefing, which pretty much, that puts his hypocrisy right out in the open. And either he doesn't get it or he does, because he did thank President Biden at another press briefing recently, but he seemed a little begrudging about it, like he was reluctant to do so. And in the past, he's made some harsh comments against Biden and also done a lot of bad decision making, you know, with the people of Florida, with the fundings. And now here he is where, you know, all his bullying tactics, being mean, aren't really doing him any justice. Quite the opposite. What I don't understand is, why have we reached this position where, and it's not just Ron DeSantis, it's others too, but just to use him as an example, why we find that being mean, that bullying, that cruelty, that these are considered good qualities in leadership. It's not. The type of leadership that we do look for, yes, strength of character is one thing, but you don't have to be a bully about it, you don't have to be mean about it. And some of the stunts he pulled, like the transporting migrants to Martha's Vineyard without giving any indication to the government of Massachusetts, those are just acts of cruelty. All for what? Some political stunt? So you could say, yeah, I own the libs. And I mentioned this before in a previous video where you had people actually cheering him on for that. Well, where's all that cheering now? Because that type of cruelty doesn't do you justice in the long run. Here's the other thing, is that any type of disaster relief, regardless of where, the type of a disaster, whether it's a hurricane or a tornado or an earthquake, that relief should be a no-brainer for all politicians. You know, like I said, DeSantis had mentioned that we shouldn't politicize this. Well, if only he had that same point of view when he voted against hurricane relief for New York in the event of Sandy. I agree, it should never be politicized. You should never have to stop and think, do we send funds? You have a lot of families in Florida that I would imagine don't have flood insurance, and some of them might be poor, some of them might be low income. What are they supposed to do if they don't have any type of help or funding support? What then? You know? And it all goes down to the also point to make is that it can happen to you. It can happen to the state that you're in. Okay, what happens if 5 years from now a hurricane hits your state or hits Florida again? And naturally they're going to need help. Will Republicans vote against it as well? Like if it's a blue state? Not that it should even matter if it's a blue state or a red state. To put it in perspective, what I would say to Ron DeSantis is a simple example. Who's also passed some pretty atrocious bills, not to get off topic, but like discriminating against gay people with the Don't Say Gay bill, with some of the acts he's put against banning books, with his issues with Disney, which shouldn't even be a factor in decision making. It should be what is best for the people. Let's say Ron DeSantis lived right next door to me, or any other Republican who, you know, voted against funding for relief for past disasters. It doesn't matter. And I come home from work and I see that their house is on fire. What would I do? Would I say, oh, well, he's a Republican or he's a politician that I don't like, so I'm just going to ignore it? No, I wouldn't do that at all. I would call the police. I'd say, we have a fire here, please send help right away. I would actually probably even go to the effort of getting a garden hose if I can reach and start spraying water on the fire to try and put it out and let the firemen come in and finish the job off. It wouldn't matter to me if the person was a Democrat or a Republican, not that I might necessarily know. It wouldn't matter to me if he had Confederate flags on his house, not that I would like that, not that I support that. It wouldn't matter to me if he were gay, if he was married with adopted children. It wouldn't matter to me if he were transgender or if he was a person of color. The bottom line is, I would do something to help him. Even see if there were people in the house, or after the fire was put down, ask him if he's okay. Is there anything I can do to help you? Or, here, let me give you some funds to help. It's not much, but right now you need all the help you can get. Why? Because it's the humanitarian thing to do. It doesn't matter what state it hits. It doesn't matter, if it's a town where it's mostly MAGA crowd. Doesn't matter, what the color of the skin is. None of those factors should matter. It should matter that they are Americans that need our help, that need the president's help, and they should be given the funding that they need, to get their lives back in order. It's even worse when it's a loss of life and people show that they don't really care. When Ron DeSantis, he made some rather unpleasant remarks regarding towards Sandy for New York and New Jersey. I don't remember the exact marks, but he had also said, he gives the people their sympathies. It's hollow sentiment, and it doesn't mean anything. You can say thoughts and prayers all you want, but unless you provide them with the help that they need, that's not going to do them any good. So speeches like that don't matter. I wish somebody had said to him back then, "Sir, have you no decency?" I would be amazed to hear what he would have to say. I'm sure he would make some nasty remark, because that's what Ron DeSantis is. He is a bully, a coward. And here he is groveling for help. And asking for help, that shouldn't be indignifying. It should be the normal course of leadership, the good decision to make to help the people, because they don't have the funding to handle this alone. And another point to make is your little Martha Vineyard stunt that costed, $12 million? Just so you could be mean, just so you could show people how cruel you are. And where does that money that money could have been put towards relief aid. Now, he either thought about that or he didn't, which he obviously didn't. He just thought like, hey, here's my chance, to be mean yet again, to be cruel yet again. And now here he is, he has to beg for help. I would hope that Ron DeSantis would look at this moment and take it as a learning experience. I wouldn't expect him to do a 180. It would be nice if at the next press briefing he would express more gratitude to President Biden, and even say something along the lines like, yeah, I remember that time when I voted against aid during Hurricane Sandy. That was clearly the wrong decision to make. Why? Because that would set an example to other Republicans. But I don't think he's going to do that. I seriously doubt it. I would be really surprised if he did do that. And as far as the vote is concerned, you need to ask yourself, is this person the right for you? I'm not just talking about DeSantis. I'm talking about Republicans that voted against this relief. Yes, there were some that actually voted against the relief for Florida, and some of them were from Florida. Go figure. Matt Gaetz, I heard, did that, who's not only proven to be a twisted pervert, but he is just absolutely useless. And for the life of me, I don't understand why Floridians don't take the opportunity to vote him out when they get the chance. Marco Rubio, he was a no-show when it was time to vote. What the hell was he doing? To me, he is just one of the most worthless human beings on the planet. And, I'm being kind when I say that. I would tell the people of Florida, vote this guy out because he's not doing anything for you. Whether or not they continue to support DeSantis, that's on them. But it's that bad leadership that comes in full perspective, and you got to ask yourself, is he the right person to be governor, let alone president? Because, like I said before, cruel people historically do not care about others. They're not capable of showing compassion. They're not capable of empathizing. And the one thing Biden has that DeSantis really doesn't seem to have, in spite of what you may think about Biden, he has kindness. And that's an important thing to have at a time like this. So, whether you decide to, again, support DeSantis, that's up to you. But you really need to think about it, because like I said, in the end, cruel people are only out for themselves. And in a time of crisis, I don't care what state it's in. These are Americans. They need help, and they should get the help that they need. No questions asked, no politics brought into it. Just what do we have to do to help this state? Anyway, I hope you understand, and thank you for watching. And just so you know, the day after Ian had struck, I had made a donation to some of the relief. And at the end of this video, I'll put up some links and information that you too can make a donation. Whether you not decide to donate, that's up to you. I'm really hoping that you'll find it in your heart to do so. And whatever the amount is, every bit counts. You know, if you can donate a large sum, that would be really great. If you can only donate a small amount, that's fine too. But as I've said in the past, as far as helping out, those little dollar amounts, they do add up and they do make a difference. So, thank you for watching, and have a good day.